What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, GeoFlex here, and in this video I want to kind of discuss toxic work environments, because a lot of times when we're talking about toxic relationships, there's this like overarching discussion, focal point, if you will, that is specifically on toxic relationships as it evolves with significant others, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, partners, lovers, friends, family members. But for the most part, we all know when we're talking about narcissistic abuse, narcissistic relationships, toxic relationships, people being emotionally unavailable or emotionally manipulative, for the most part, the conversation is focused on significant others, love style relationships, okay? And we keep, and I want people to understand that you can have toxic relationships in all facets of life, right? So that could be your significant other, your lover, your sex partners, your friendship groups, the people that your family members, the people that you work with, okay? So let's talk about this from a work environment, right? Business partner, colleague, coworker, you're at work, your job. Let's look at it from that lens in this video, okay? So the reason I bring this up is because a lot of us have been in situations where at the job, at the workplace, okay? At the place that you're employed, you have been in situations where it was toxic, it was dysfunctional, it wasn't structured, and it wasn't a good place to be. And I've had experiences, I started working at 16 at a daycare center in 2009. And I've had many jobs in different type of environments, different type of structures, different job fields. Some are similar to each other and some are completely the polar opposite. And I've been in different, environments. I've had multiple experiences, and I'm here to tell you, if your workplace is toxic, the opportunity for growth is not really going to happen or be there because of the structure of the workplace, the structure of the organization, the business, how things are ran and structured play a major role. So I'm also washing dishes. Gotta keep, when you single, and it's on you gotta keep your own stuff together by yourself. And this Saturday morning, in true Black American, African American culture, you know how it is Saturday morning. It's just time to clean up. So let's get into this. So you probably gonna hear water and stuff, because I got errands and stuff that I gotta take care of today. So, and I hope this doesn't, cause a lot of distraction. But when I'm cleaning, I got, gotta get it done. But anyway, in this segment, I want to highlight this. So like at my previous job, I had the opportunity and the privilege of working at my previous job 6 years ago. So I was literally gauging things from 2015 to 2021, looking at, has there been any changes? Are there any similarities? Are things running differently? Are things running better? Are things running the same? Are things running worse? And in my opinion, things were running worse. First of all, toxic work environments. I understand people have mental health issues, mental health diagnosis, physical health issues, physical health diagnosis. However, at my previous job, it's like all they did was allow their mental health issues to constantly interrupt work days and the workflow. So like you're sitting up coming into work and you don't know it was basically like a narcissistic relationship, but it was my job. So like you would go into work and you're walking on eggshells because you're worried about everybody's attitude issue, and you never know if somebody's coming in angry, mad, bitter. I mean, and these are grown men, women, people coming into work. You grown, and this is your attitude. You know, you're throwing a whole tantrum and nobody knows what's wrong with you. You're just coming in huffing and puffing. And again, mental health is important and it's a priority. But after a while, constantly justifying piss poor behavior, that's not going to work well. And that's a toxic environment. You should not be coming into work every single day, and every day you're sitting up here having a straight bitch fit because you don't know how to control your emotions, and everybody up in here is well over 20 years old. These were senior staff members acting like this. I mean, these were people that are well in their 30s and 40s every damn day having a bitch fit. And it was just ridiculous, okay? And then literally not even a full 3 months of me being at my previous job, we were already being informed that budget cuts were happening because they lost over $500,000 in grant funding from very specific programs that funded the job. So we wasn't even there a full 90 days and chaos was already taking place. Like, and mind you, I was hired with 3 other people. And 2 of us were let go because of these, let's just keep it real, because of these grants not being renewed and them losing grants to programming. Just keep it real, okay? And then within not even the full 3 months of us being there, I noticed that we were losing staff. Staff members were resigning left and right. Like, we lost numerous case managers in the same month. We lost like 2 case managers in the same month. And then the previous month before that, we lost the coordinator of the behavioral health. They resigned and went somewhere else too. Okay. And then in August, okay, so now we're over the 3 months slightly. In August, we lost another case manager. She resigned and went somewhere else. Then at the beginning of September, right, about 2.5 weeks before I was, let go, we lost another prevention team member. They resigned and went somewhere else. Again, everybody started leaving, just like resigning. Oh, and then literally the week before I was let go, me and another colleague was let go. Another colleague was laid off and was let go. So again, it was like you were seeing like things are not really adding up. And then the structure of this place, oh my God, there's no structure. It's just very, what you would call, and I may be pronouncing this incorrectly, but it's what you would call laissez-faire, aka you just letting everything go with the flow and people is doing whatever the hell they want to do. There's no checks and balances. And then let's be honest, even with the trainings, all of the trainings were online. And a lot of the trainings that I was doing initially, while they were intriguing and had value and was important to a certain extent, a lot of the trainings that we were doing initially had nothing to do with our actual role. So here we are. I was basically at my job at my last job for 5 months before I was let go. And we were there for 5 months. And again, most people, the new people that were there, which was me and 2 other folks, we didn't know our job roles. We didn't know what our responsibilities were because, again, there's no structure. You're sitting up here, you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing day to day. And then you're hired in to do a specific job role, but then turn around, they want you to be fulfilling 5 other roles and only paying you for 1 role. And not to mention, the salaries, the wages here were horrible. Then they had all these audits that kept happening at this organization. And one of the audit reports from January 2020 pretty much set in stone why they were having all of these structural issues, why they're losing funding. You sitting up here over $400,000. That's right. $400,000, almost $500,000 that was supposed to be allocated to employees' wages and salaries just somehow came up missing and wasn't allocated to employees' wages and salaries. And that's just one of the findings on the audit. One of the many errors on the audit, which keep in mind, this is probably why we were all low, like our wages were so low and stagnant at this place. Like when I first had the opportunity of being at this place in 2015, I was 22, almost 23. And at that time, I had a bachelor's degree and 2 associate's degree, and they hired me for $11 an hour. You see what I'm talking about? They've been lowballing and misappropriating funds for a while. That ain't nothing new. You know, these places be so toxic and dysfunctional, no structure. And then 2, all they were doing was hiring their friends. Let's just keep it real. All of them all went to the same college, and they all would literally just be hiring their friends to come and do jobs. And keep in mind, everybody isn't necessarily doesn't have the credentials, let alone the attitude and the work ethic to do the work that they're doing. But because we buddy and we friends, I'm hiring my best friend and the person I went to school with to do this position. And it was a lot of that up there. Okay, and then like I said, you coming in and people having full-fledged attitudes the minute they walk in. Oh, and let's talk about how, you know, granted, life happens, but very rarely anybody was ever on time at this place. Like, y'all supposed to be open at 10, and people was rolling in here at 10:40, 10:45 on a daily basis. And don't get me wrong, I was late. I'm not going to sit up here and make it seem like I was on time 24/7, because I wasn't. But my God, how are you a whole hour late every single day? Like, y'all just rolling in here whenever you want to be here. And then complaining about stuff. Like, and then they encourage people to talk about their salaries and wages, but yet when you talked about your salary and wages, you're going to get fired. Because myself and another colleague that used to work there, we were let go because we were talking about our salaries and wages, yet y'all encouraged us to do that. Also, we were let go because we were talking about the audit. I just want to throw that out there. This is what happens when you work in, when you live in right-to-work states, where you can be fired for literally any and everything. They don't even have to give you legitimate reasons. You know, where if we had unions and actually had labor rights laws, a lot of these issues and these labor rights laws were actually being enforced, and these companies and businesses and nonprofits and organizations were being held accountable, we wouldn't be able to just let go people and fire people. And again, let's really talk about it. A lot of the case managers that just started resigning in July, they resigned because they were being paid low. You sitting up here, people sitting up here with master's degrees, okay? Masters in social work, you know, licensed social workers that have master's degrees being paid $35,000 a year. Meanwhile, your caseload is out of this world because they purposely don't hire enough people for the amount of clients that they have. So you'll have one person that's got 20, 30 different people that they got to be trying to communicate with. And then you got other positions doing the role of case management, and that's not what we were hired for. Just throwing it out there, you know? And then also keep in mind, we're doing HIV testing, STI testing. We're doing counseling in these HIV, STI, STD counseling sessions. You know, we're doing public health. We're doing outreach. We're risking our lives and our families' lives being here. Okay, and yet you paying people $35,000 in 2021. And now we all know we were supposed to be getting paid more because all of that got found out in the January 2020 audit. Again, $400,000 just disappeared that was supposed to be allocated to employees' salaries and wages, and nobody knew where that was at. Then you got the leadership. They don't even work at the actual office. Everybody was cyber, you know, virtual for the most part. You might have seen the leadership once a week, if that, Because like the CEO basically never was at the office unless it was an event that was going on. And again, obviously you got to show face. You got to be in the public eye because it's an event. But when it's day-to-day tasks, where are you? Right. It's just a lot of stuff that I saw. And that's what I mean by you being in these toxic work environments. Then you got one of the directors who would constantly use the fact that they have ADHD as a excuse for them hijacking meetings. We would be having a meeting and this person would go off on a tangent and we sitting up here spending the next hour talking about something that has nothing to do with the actual meeting. And that was all the time. And that's another thing. So you know you got dysfunctional, just time wasting structures. The fact that we would be having meetings all the time to talk about absolutely nothing. Literally, we would be having 2-3 hour meetings on Mondays and Tuesdays. It was ridiculous. And then, like I said, these meetings would get hijacked from this one particular person who constantly used the fact that they had ADHD to justify them hijacking the meeting and having us talk about their many tangents. And that was happening all the time, you know? Not to mention that we never really had resources to help any of the clients. You sitting up, clients need serious help with shit, and like, you never have money to assist them, but then we looking at these audit reports, looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars just randomly disappear and don't nobody know where it's at. No wonder the clients don't have resources to support them because the money is being distributed somewhere else. It was all kinds of shady mess going on, you know, and I just sit back and I'm like, I was really fired, let go, because I was talking about wages and salaries and because we were talking about the reporting of the audit. But again, let's talk about some of the red flags before I end this video. When you come into a place and everybody is resigning and leaving and quitting the job and you just started, that's a red flag. Obviously, that's a red flag. Something is not going on. And then you got to understand how small this nonprofit that I was working at was. So like literally, you done lost like 15 employees since 2020. And then I started April 27th and I literally watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people leave between my start date and the beginning of September. That's all I'm gonna say. When you start seeing everybody leaving, then all of a sudden then it was like a few weeks before my 3-month probational period, and we already being told that we need to start looking for jobs because you done lost over a $500,000 grant. Like seriously, you already setting stuff up. Then you got individual employees that work there, that've been there for a while. They're angry, they're disgruntled, they're complaining because they got to work 2 jobs because you refuse to pay them living wages. I mean, just being real, there was all kinds of shady shit that was going on at this place. And one thing I've learned over time is, like I said before, if the pay isn't what you want, don't accept it. Look elsewhere because you're going to have resentment and issues. If you start working somewhere and you've been there for less than 3 months and you already seeing people quitting left and right, resigning left and right, you come in and people already complaining about how things are ran at the job. Every day you come in, people got attitudes. These are red flags. These are blatant red flags, and honey, I'm here to tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to be mad. You're going to regret it. It ain't worth it. Look elsewhere. Also, before I end this video, because this is already at almost 20 minutes, your colleagues ain't your friends. Because here it is, Everybody was in there complaining about their wages and salaries. Everybody was in there shocked at the reports of the audits and talking about, well, damn, how did we lose, funding to this? I mean, and they were losing funding to different programs. It wasn't just one. It was multiple programs that they were losing funding for. Okay. All kinds of stuff. And like I said, there's no structure. Y'all just letting people do whatever. 24/7. Just no way in the world. Well, And then, also, this was supposed to be an organization that focused on LGBTQ plus people, yet you got key people enrolled. They're not a part of the LGBTQ plus community. They don't identify, yet they're making decisions for a population of people that they don't know nothing about. Literally, you got one of them talking about well, I don't believe in pushing PrEP. Yeah, because you're not the one being impacted by HIV. You're not a gay cis man. You're not a gay trans man. You're not a trans woman. You're not in the community, but you're making decisions for a community that you're not a part of. Go figure. And then you wonder why the HIV and STI rates in our particular area are going up. Because you're not doing your job. Like I said, it was a lot of stuff that I saw up in there where I'm like, okay, you done showed your true colors. That's all I'm going to say. You done showed your true colors. And when a person shows you who they are, believe them. That's it. The fakeness. Like I said, it don't matter if it's your lover, significant other, your partner, your mom, your dad, your sibling, your parent, cousin, aunts, uncles, or it's at your workplace, in the work environment. Toxic people are everywhere. Dysfunctional structures are everywhere, honey. And I'm here to tell you, when you start spotting these red flags, leave. And thankfully for me, I was already applying to other jobs the minute I found out when they told us back in July that we had lost over $500,000 grant and that we needed to start applying for jobs. I mean, literally, they were sending job opportunities in the email at work. So we already knew, okay, this is not stable. You're subject to not have a job. And mind you, me and another colleague, we were let go 3 days before the end of their fiscal year. Again, this was already discussed back in July that we needed to start looking elsewhere. I mean, and they got the nerve to say, because we were talking about our wages, even though they encouraged us to have these conversations. Keep that in mind. But we were let go for participating in conversations about salaries and wages that you encouraged. Like I said, I done seen it all. You don't have to worry about me, baby. And I will say is, when one door closes, another door opens. And sometimes it's multiple doors and windows open. And this is also why it's so important to network and always look out for yourself. Because ain't nobody else gonna do it. Okay? Ain't nobody else gonna look out for you like you gonna look out for you. Okay? Always have your resume updated and ready. Have your cover letters, your letters of interest updated and ready. Have your curriculum vitae, your CVs updated and ready. And if you can't personally do it, you can pay other people to get your cover letters and resumes and CVs created. You can pay people to apply to jobs for you. There's a niche for everybody. Everybody can make money and grow and prosper here. So what you won't do, you can pay somebody else to do. If you got difficulties doing it, pay somebody else to do it. Pay somebody else a living wage to do it. And that's for real. So, network and be thankful for the opportunities. Be grateful for the opportunities, the blessings that come your way. And that's real. Because it was wild. I had a job interview that Friday before that Tuesday that I was let go. Fired. Right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. And also keep in mind, I want to say this because they keep talking about labor shortages. There's no labor shortage. Y'all just don't want to pay people living wages, and y'all treat y'all employees like shit. Talk about the real shit. It's a labor shortage, but you firing and letting people go. It's a labor shortage, but people are resigning because you are losing funding. And because you keep having audits and failing horribly in the audits. Talk that real shit. Stop sitting up here talking about it's a labor shortage. Because it's not. These jobs, these organizations, these businesses, they're treating their employees like trash. They're not paying people living wages. They don't offer quality benefits and resources the vast majority of time, especially in these service economy jobs. I mean, my God. Y'all still sitting up here talking about $11 and $12 an hour. No wonder you can't find people. Can't nobody take care of themselves on low wages and salaries like that. Here it was, I was barely getting $1,000 every 2 weeks at my previous job. I got $48,000 worth of student loan debt. How am I supposed to get out of student loans when I'm basically making $24,000 a year after taxes? I still got other bills and responsibilities. And you thought I was finna be able to live off of that. And that's the type of mess that they do. But then they want to get on here and talk about labor shortages. Spot the gaslighting. Okay, spot the gaslighting. All right. And I'm going to have information about right to work states, why we need to have unions, labor unions, why we need to support and enforce labor rights laws, because the shit that's going on at a lot of these companies, organizations, nonprofits, businesses, is wrong. It is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. People deserve living wages. People deserve security. People deserve support. And the way a lot of these jobs are going about doing stuff, it's wrong. There ain't no other way to put it. It's wrong. I don't care how you try to twist and turn it. The way a lot of these places is going about doing things is absolutely wrong. Anyways, feel free to share your work experiences. You don't have to name the names of where you work. You don't have to name the names of the people that you worked with. Keep it anonymous. You don't have to overshare if you don't want to overshare. But if you're interested in sharing some of your experiences dealing with toxic workplaces, or tips, hints, advice on how to avoid dealing with toxicity or having issues at your place of employment, feel free to share that in the comment box below. You feel me? And I'll have information in the description box on what I pretty much discussed in this video. Again, join the channel if you would like to join the channel. These are special videos that are posted. It's $9.99 a month, and you can cancel at any time. If you would like to donate to the channel to help the expansion and growth of this channel, Cash App and Venmo is in the description box. I do video requests. Video requests are $15 per video, and payment is accepted via Cash App and Venmo. And I'm out. Y'all be safe.